would we like to just hop on into it here?
Sure, why not, brother?
Okay. I do have a question, though, about your character. I have two, actually.
Okay.
So, first off, her name. It's Serenya. Serenya? Am I saying that right?
The internet says it's no, wait, hold on. I need to look at her name.
You're good. I've been pronouncing it Serenya, but I don't know
See,
if that's...
that's what I thought. That's what I was thinking it was too. But I think this thing, well, online the pronunciation is Serenia. But like that doesn't seem right to me.
It's like I can pronounce
I
it
like,
either way.
yeah.
And then number two, so I was talking with Gabe yesterday because we were doing his little character prologue. And I had mentioned that you are a warlock. I didn't know this. He knows a little bit more about D&D than I do. That warlocks get their abilities from, like, their deities. And so I was going to ask you if you wanted to look through, like, a list of, like, D&D gods and goddesses or whatever. Or my alternative is if you would like it to be the, like, mysterious figure that kind of lures her out into the forest and, like, makes the deal and kind of gives her power. Would you rather that be the deity that she kind of, like, makes a deal with?
Well, I mean, like, that is the one. Like, that was, like, my thing. But, like, we could always just make that one person one of them. Like, I'm sure one of them fits enough into the category.
Yeah. I just didn't know if you had, like, a specific character in mind when you were kind of
No,
writing
I don't remember what they're called.
All right. And then later on, we don't have to do it now because I still don't understand how they work. We'll have to look through, like, certain spells that you can do and, like, which ones you want Serenia to be able to do in the beginning. But since you're not going to be fighting anything right now, hopefully, depends on how you play this character. We won't have to worry about that right now. I will make sure if you do, like, a little spell, it'll do. I won't. But yeah, I won't make you roll for magic right now, I guess is my little summary. Alrighty. Shall we begin?
Oh, yeah.
Alright. So before we start this, let me tell you a story. And it starts like this. The region of Synchrene was never alone. The entire country, a verdant, flourishing valley, celebrated the gift of life like how they believed the gods intended them to. Together. Children of all races playing games around a roaring bonfire in the dusk of evening. The adults gathered in the morning for teas and brews, gossiping and laughing like relatives at a family reunion. They all worked in tandem, like a long machine of equal parts, farming, hunting, gathering, and caring for one another. All commanded by 6 just rulers: the kind, the free, the strong, the resilient, the brave, and the knowledgeable. For as long as anybody could remember, they conducted the inhabitants as democratic leaders, rationing food among them, keeping them safe from lingering threats on the edge of civilization. And their people loved them, and they loved their people. Until some people didn't love them. The demons, the rebels, the revolters. No matter what you called them, it was clear what they stood for. They screamed about unfairness, that all of the inhabitants should fight for themselves instead of dividing up their materials when the work ethic wasn't equal. They shouted to their leaders, demanding change for the way they had lived for so long. The 6 rulers knew that if one cog stopped working, the machine would break down for good. They warned the revolters, telling them to stand down in their ways, but the revolters didn't listen. It wasn't until the death of a young child did the leaders understand that their words would not stop these terrorists. Many died, nearly half the population of Synchrene. There were brothers fighting brothers, betrayals, decay, famine. At the end of the day, no one wins war. It's only the dead that sees the end of it. The brave and the strong, the resilient, all stood tall, and the free and the kind tended to the wounds of the loyal, and the knowledgeable commanded the troops, and eventually the rebels were caught. After the Radical War, after every mutineer was hunted and punished, the 6 leaders came to one conclusion. This was only the beginning. An ocean does not stop crashing waves just because the storm has passed. Or in other words, one uprising will not be the end of the discontent in their nation. After it was put to a vote, all leaders agreed that they couldn't suffer another war. 6 kingdoms were built along the coast of the country, each being ruled by the commanders of the war. They built towering walls cascading down from the sky that protected their land from any other threat again. There can't be disputes between kingdoms if they never speak. Like they were never united at all, and the first era came to an end, with no more death, no more revolters, and no more community. And that is where we begin our story.
Dang, that's crazy.
So where we meet Serenya here, it will be a year after this war. She was just kind of like coaxed along into this eastmost kingdom called Paleodox, as hence the name of this recording. And so this takes place a year after that, where the kingdom walls have now been built. You know, they're officially a separate entity in Synchrene. And yeah, they've just started the like base of their civilization. So what are you thinking for Synchrene? You know, what's like her daily routine?
Bro, I don't know.
All right, how about this? So Synchrene, that's not your character's name. That's the
Yeah, that's
kingdom.
not. I was a little confused. I was
That
like,
is-
wait, I thought that's what the kingdom was called.
That is indeed the country. All right, take two. So how about this? So Serenya, she wakes up in her little cottage. It's a smaller house, you know, because they're still trying to get a stronger a base for their civilization. And she wakes up, you know, she starts getting ready for the day. And she walks out and she stands on her porch. And she is greeted obviously with a very busy street. It's, you know, people are just getting up for the day, they're going to tend to the farms, you know, maybe better the buildings, or just even, you know, talk to their new kingdom mates, because, you know, all these people were just ushered here with no really like reason why. I mean, obviously they knew because of the war, but you know, it wasn't like they like were like, okay, all farmers go here, all fighters go there. And so Serenya, you know, she wakes up, she gets dressed, and she's standing on her front porch, and immediately she can see two groups, or two people. She can see this fancier dressed looking individual. He's an elf, and he is kind of standing on his own front porch that's across the street from Serenya. And you can see that he is standing there and he is looking straight at this black stone wall that has been built. And even though it's been a year ago now, since the war and since everything, this wall is still very jarring to look at, because, you know, it's a giant black stone wall that goes as high, it almost looks like it's falling down from the sky.
Yeah,
and
that
so
would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be pretty darn startling to see every day now. And so you see this elf, you know, he's got his long, luscious blonde hair. His arms are-
you're talking a full Legolas here, or what?
oh yeah. And his arms are crossed, and he is basically looking off of his porch and just staring at this with this almost like scowl.
Dang.
And then to a little bit to the right in the street, you can kind of see this human, and they are just kind of sitting there, and they are reading this book. And actually, I am going to make you do your first roll.
No, not you. There's bugs.
Oh. Where did my D&D checks go? I want you to roll for... We're going to roll for perception. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll your D20, and then you will add your modifier for... excuse me. I think for wisdom, which will be a -1. So you're going to roll your D20. Whatever you get, you're going to just take away 1.
Okay, so 15. So 14.
Yes. Okay, so that's pretty good. So as you look over to this human who's reading this book, you notice that the title is sorry, my dog. So you look over and they're reading this book, and you obviously can tell it's pretty well loved. And you notice on the cover, the title, it's written in a different language, but you recognize it. And you recognize it as one that you had seen in your previous settlement before the walls went up. And they're just, sitting there and just calmly reading it, not really reacting or anything. So, what does Serenya do?
Like, which of the people does she go hang out with?
I mean, I guess. Or if you don't want to, you can just be like, she walks away. She goes towards, like, the farm or the tavern. It's a very,
That
whatever
lucky
you
would
want.
be her. I feel like she would either, well, I don't know. She would either go to the tavern for sure, because I feel like she's that kind of lady. Or she'd go hit up that angry looking elf dude, because I feel like they're both angry, and I feel like people probably hate both of them, so they would bond well. But, like, he would pretend like he doesn't like her, but really he does.
All right. So either or. I mean, you tell me. You tell me what Serenya does. Hello.
I didn't mean to join.
It's fine. We're just
Dang,
doing
that's crazy.
we're just doing Serenya's prologue.
I apologize.
You're all good.
That's crazy.
Oh, don't you? All right. So, which does Serenya do?
I feel like she's got to go hang out with her main man, Legolas.
All right.
I don't know what his name is, but that's what I'm calling him.
All right. I don't know what his name is either, so we're gonna make this up as we go. That's the fun of this. Okay.
Legolas forever. I don't care what you name him.
What's a name that like sounds like Legolas but isn't? Lego? I think I'm calling him Lego now.
That was incredible.
Yeah, that's his
You
name.
said he had luscious long blonde hair. Like, that is Legolas. And
Yeah,
he's an elf. Like,
that's all I can visualize when I see him is simply Legolas. All right, so Serenia, she looks between these two people and she kind of is like scanning the street, and she can see a few other people hanging about, but she immediately kind of locks onto this elf because obviously, she's a half elf and she hasn't seen many others like her within this kingdom. And so even though they're technically a different species, it immediately catches her eye. And so she notices that he's staring at this wall. And you said she's kind of angry about it?
who's angry at what?
Did you say Serenia was also angry at the wall, or am I misremembering this?
Not specifically at the wall. I just mean, like, everybody probably doesn't like either of them.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my thoughts.
All right. So yeah, so she sees this and it's like an immediate thought of like, oh, safety in numbers, we're both elves of sorts, so like, might as well make an alliance for lack of better terms. And so she sees this elf and she starts walking across the street. And as she does this, the elf kind of turns his gaze from the wall to her. And at first he kind of like glares at you. And then he notices like the semi-pointed ears and the green eyes that almost seem to glow, but not just quite. And then his face kind of relaxes and he dips his head in greeting. What does Serenia say or do?
I feel like she should stand next to him and also stare at the wall.
So wordlessly, Serenia joins him on his porch. He steps aside to kind of make room for her. And they both,
like a comfortable silence.
Yeah, and they both are just staring at this wall. I am going to make you do another check. I'm gonna make you do. We're gonna make you do history. And whatever you roll, you will also be minusing 1 again. Because unfortunately, with how you rolled your character abilities towards the end of the character form, Serenia didn't get the wisdom or intelligence. Or the strength. She has a -2 in strength, a -1 in intelligence and wisdom.
Dang.
What'd you get?
I said dang, but I'm rolling. We got 14, so 13.
All right, so that's pretty good for a history check. And so you're staring at this wall, and you are thinking back to the reason why it was built. So, you had these revolters once upon a time that basically they were a part of your civilization at first, and then just decided, you guess that wasn't good enough for them, and they wiped out this, kind group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the back of your mind, that's why this wall was built, and it was built to, keep everybody within these kingdoms and safe, because, you can't have this large uprising if you don't have a large population of people. And so you're looking at this wall and you're just kind of accepting the fact that it's there now. And what it stands for, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so the elf, after kind of like a minute of staring in silence, turns to look at you and is like, I never agreed with. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
I don't know. It's just funny.
So he turns to you and he kind of sighs and says, like, I never really agreed 100% with what the original 6 rulers were doing. But is this wall really the answer? Like, what is it? Why is it here, basically?
Mm-hmm.
And so he kind of turns to you and is kind of expecting this response.
I don't know. I'm not good at this.
All right, just think of it like you're writing your story, and like you just have 2 characters kind of going back and forth.
What did he say again?
So yeah, he looks at the wall and he just kind of goes, I didn't agree with everything the original 6 leaders of Synchrene, stood for, and I understand they wanted to keep us safe, but like, were the walls really necessary? Like, was that really the only solution they could think of after this war? And he kind of turns to you for your opinion.
Dude, I actually have no idea. Like, I don't know. In real
Okay,
life, I don't know how I would respond to that.
Okay,
I
so we'll just say,
yeah.
yeah, we'll just say Serenya, nods in agreement, and he just kind of accepts this. And so he turns away from the wall now to fully face you, and you notice he's pretty tall. He's kind of has to look down to you as he speaks. And
I'm used to that.
and he holds out his hand for you to shake, and he's like, "My name is Lego, by the way. I don't know if we've met, but us elf species have to stick together." And he kind of laughs as he says this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so he kind of pauses, and he's like, "Would you want to head down to like the tavern for an early lunch, I guess?" And then he immediately starts backtracking. He's like, "It's not like a date or anything. It's not like I'm asking you out. I just literally met you. I don't even know your name, but like like I said, we gotta kind of stick together. Do you want to join me down at the tavern?"
You know she's joining him at that tavern. Already.
Perfect. And so they agree, and they make their way through this small little settlement, and you're walking these gravel paths that have just been laid, because it's while it's been a year, it's still pretty new. And so you're walking and you're seeing these buildings, and you're just kind of taking in the sights now. And so you reach what did I say earlier? I think the northmost area of Paleodox, and there's this giant tent. And you know that it is the basis of the tavern, because they haven't really gotten around to making the solid structure for it yet. And so you go in, and you see at the very far back of this tent, there's this long bar with a shelf of drinks behind it. You have these tables kind of in the back side of it, and then immediately to your right after you enter, you can see the stage to your left. There's no one playing on it just yet, but you do know that people do come and perform sometimes during the night, on the weekends. And in front of said stage is kind of like a little dancing area. So I guess I'm assuming you and Lego kind of go to the back and get a drink, maybe some food.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where do I want to go from here? Okay, so the two of you claim a table towards the back, and a waiter comes over, takes your order. Do you have any specific food needs for the lovely Serenya in mind?
Ain't no way she's getting a salad, that's for sure.
No salad. Okay, so you place your order, sans salad. Not a single piece of lettuce to be seen.
Absolutely not. So
No.
what kind of lady?
Exactly. And so you're sitting there and you're kind of waiting for the cooks, bartenders, whatever, to get your stuff. And Lego kind of turns to you and he's like, so, I obviously have been here for the same duration as you have. We all have. We're first generation here. What did you do before the walls came up, And you can tell he's just trying to reach for some sort of conversation.
It's giving come here often.
Literally. He's He's trying. He is trying.
He's trying. Oh. Well,
Okay.
I mean, I don't have anything specific, but like I know like she goes around for sure and like helps out where she can. So, like small inconveniences because obviously she's not running into anything giant. But like anytime like a person or like a group of people or village or whatever needs help, like she's gonna swoop in there and get them.
Yeah.
Use her magical powers that nobody likes.
Yeah, and so when you tell this to Lego, he kind of perks up at the mention of magic, and he's like, "That's actually really really cool," despite being myself, and he kind of like gestures to his whole body. He's like, "I never was able to, get any solid magic down. I never could really teach myself, and so I think what you were doing out there is kind of cool." And he kind of like pauses awkwardly for a moment and he goes, I was one of the soldiers actually for the war. So I didn't really get the chance to practice with the arcane as much as I wanted. And he kind of like tapers off and he's kind of looking a little sad.
Oh.
Okay, so we'll say as you kind of enjoy your food that comes out and your drinks, and you talk about more lighter stuff. We'll talk about daily routines, what kind of roles you guys have been assigned now that Synchrene has been split up, and it's just a nice little time of making friends. And as you do this, you can see out of your the corner of your eye this dragonborn. She kind of comes out from the back of the tent and she's kind of scanning the room. And her eyes immediately jump to you guys because since it's early morning, there's not a lot of people in there. And she looks over to your duo, and you can see this big grin on her face. And she walks over to you guys, and she's like, "Well, hi. I didn't know we had anyone, here. My name's Jill. I am the owner of the tavern. So yeah, what brings you guys here? What's your name and all that?"
Dang, I thought she was gonna try to steal my man. You better not try to steal my man, Emma. He's mine.
No, we love Jill. I'm assuming does Serenya introduce herself? What did she say to Jill?
She's here on business.
She's here on business. What business would that be?
I don't know what's going on in the world, Emma.
I don't know
what I'm here on
it's what
business
you
for.
want to be.
I can choose whatever I'm on business here for.
Yeah, I mean, if you are truly there, or if you want, you can lie to her and say this. You could be just like, "Oh, we're here for food and drinks," or whatever you want. I basically am following your lead. So whatever you want to be true.
But there's no reason she's in this town?
Oh, there is. I mean, she's in there simply because after the war, people were just kind of divided up, and they're like, "Hey, go to this kingdom." They didn't really get a say. But like, if she's there at the tavern because she wants to meet with someone, or if she's simply there just to have a little lunch with Lego,
I feel like she's here to chill with Lego because she doesn't want to divulge any information to this lady because she doesn't know this lady.
Fair enough. And so, yeah, we'll say Serenya, she kind of gives that short answer that she's here for a lunch with a friend. And I feel like Jill kind of picks up on this more guarded attitude. So she kind of tries to offer this kind smile, and she's like, okay, well, I hope you guys enjoy your meal. I'll leave you to it. If you ever need anything, I'm always in the back office. Just ask one of our bartenders, and I'll be with you. And yeah, in the evenings we have performers. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the great Real Mod Bottom. He performed here the other night, kind of became a local celebrity, aka Gabe's character prologue.
Yeah.
By the way, that is on the Butterfly Effect YouTube channel if you ever want to listen to it.
Oh my goodness.
It's like 3 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we could not stay focused for the life of us, so it's there if you are interested in hearing his comeuppance. That's not the word, but and yeah, so she kind of gives you this like little rundown of what the tavern is, and then she just kind of like nods once to herself and leaves, kind of with her tail between her legs, because she's trying, but she feels like she had failed that conversation. And as that happens, Lego kind of laughs and takes a sip of his drink, and he's like, I think that was the first time I've seen Jill like hightail it out of a conversation. And he laughs.
Dang.
Okay, and we'll say that I need to learn my D&D races. I don't know them well. We will say that this mixed group of people enter the tent, and they're already very loud and annoying. And you notice that it's mostly composed of humans. There's about 4 of them, so we'll say 2 of them are humans, one's a dwarf, and another one's an orc. And so they walk in, and they're already very loud. And so they walk back to where the tables are kind of set, and they sit a few tables away from you, and immediately you catch one of the humans kind of staring at the duo of you two, and they are glaring. But they don't say anything to you yet.
You know she's gonna give him like that look, like when you just like raise your eyebrows and like kind of lean forward, like come at me, bro. Yeah.
So okay, the human sees you do this, and for a moment he almost looks like he's the one that's offended, and he gets this kind of like screwed up look on his face, and he elbows the orc sitting next to him, and he points that out, and of course the orc turns to the dwarf and points it out, and the dwarf points it out to the other human. And so the original human that's kind of been glaring at you stands up from his table. He walks over, he kind of slams his hands down on the table that you and Lego are sitting at, and he looks at you, and he goes, what is your problem?
Dang, what did I even do?
You existed.
That's crazy.
What does Serenya say or do?
Let me think about it for a minute.
You're good.
What's she gonna do, Evie? Why can't you talk?
Yeah, is she the confrontational type? Is she's just gonna look at him?
Well, I think she's confrontational if somebody bugs her enough. But like
Fair
that's
enough.
not like her immediate thing most of the time.
That's
But
fair.
this
That's
time
fair.
it seems to be because she low-key was all like, come at me, bro. So I feel like she's got to be confrontational with it. Like this dude just struck, like this group just struck her the wrong way.
Yeah. Fair, yeah. So does she respond verbally to him, or is she just kind of let him sit in silence?
I mean, she might as well be like, "What's your problem?"
He kind of scoffs when you say this, and he's like, "My problem."
Dang, we just go back and forth with it infinitely.
Yeah, I mean that's what D&D is.
It's like, what's your problem? I don't know. What's your problem? No, you. What's your problem?
What's your problem? Yeah, he kind of scoffs at this, and he's like, "My problem is that you things walk in here and you sit at these tables and you act like nothing is wrong with that." And he kind of rolls his eyes. Lego across from you is kind of like staring at this dude like so confused. He has no words for what
he has no self-preservation skills, bro.
No, he's just
gonna
frozen.
die.
I mean,
he better not, Emma. He's my man.
Yeah, he's kind of just frozen, and he's watching this interaction go down. And he kind of is looking between you and this human, trying to determine what's gonna happen now that he's like fully in your face and not hiding his basically fantasy racism.
Have a thing against elves? That's crazy.
Yeah, imagine, because he's hanging out
you
with
can live with an orc
dwarves.
and a dwarf. Like what?
Oh man.
Any problem with an elf?
Yeah. Not even. You are literally a half elf too, which is hilarious. But apparently he just doesn't care, and he's just kind of glaring at you now. So what does Serenya do?
Well, I think we need to get to the bottom of why they're racist against the elves.
Perfect.
Like, why you being racist, homie?
He kind of like looks at you weirdly, and he's like, "I'm not. I'm just stating fact."
That's like you kind of people up in here.
Yeah, you types of people, but I'm the one that's in the right. I called you things, but I'm in the right here. He kind of like rolls his eyes, and he's like, "Fine. You want to know the real reason why I don't like you people? Because
stop saying you people, man."
He kind of looks at you, and he's like, "My problem is because I fought out in that war, and I watched people like you slaughter people like me. I don't care if you were one of the greatest warriors loyal to the original 6 rulers, or if you were a revolter yourself. I don't care. I've seen too many people like you with powerful magic kill people like me, and that is why I do not like you."
But I'm not like them. I'm built different.
I'm built different. And so, as Serenya says this, he kind of just rolls his eyes, and
Are you
he's like,
taking me word for word?
"I mean, I can."
No, I don't want you to. I don't necessarily want you to say I'm built different.
I mean, I feel like that would be something she would say, though. But what does she say precisely?
I don't know. I need you to like author it up for me. You can do whatever you think sounds best. I'm just giving my thoughts.
No, that's no fun.
I'm not. I don't know.
Fine, I can give direction.
Say like something along the lines of built different. If you really want to put built different, then you can, but it does not have to be built different.
I really kind of wanna, but I
Go
won't.
for it then. I mean, I don't care.
Okay, so the human, he says this, and he's scowling, and Serenya, obviously offended, kind of turns to him and is like, "I'm not like the revolters. I don't kill people." And she just says that very bluntly. And she kind of says, like, I use my abilities for good. I'm not looking to pick a fight. I literally just came here to have lunch with my friend. And as you say, this is a human. He doesn't scoff, but he definitely isn't looking reassured. And he just kind of awkwardly shuffles away, kind of ending the conversation that way.
Dang.
And finally, Lego kind of unfreezes, and he's kind of looking at you, and he's like, I don't know what just happened." And he just kind of awkwardly laughs as he says this.
Hey man, I don't know what just happened either. That dude was just racist.
I'm taking that word for word. Lego kind of laughs at you saying this and being like fairly blunt about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I've noticed that the more we've lived in Paleodocs here, the people aren't very happy with us because of what we are. You know, I've noticed now that we've been in Paleodocs for a year now. It's, you know, I've noticed the glares. I've noticed how the people act towards us." And he's like, I never really noticed that back in Synchrene. Did you?"
No?
No, you didn't notice fantasy racism?
Wait, I don't know.
It's up to you.
I mean, probably not because she doesn't really associate with people at all because she already knows that everybody doesn't like her.
Yeah. Okay, and so yeah, we can say that. Serenya just tells him this, that, you know, she's always been kind of a loner, and he kind of hums at this information, and you can tell he's taking it to heart. And he's like, you know, I never really believed that people should be alone. I think we've seen the outcome of what this, you know, I guess for lack of a better term, segregation kind of causes.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I don't think that's the way that someone should live. And he kind of pauses and he goes, if you would like, we can kind of, you know, stick together a little bit more, be more friends.
She gonna play it off cool. She's be like, yeah, you know, sure, whatever.
But internally, I'm assuming she's freaking out.
Internally, she's totally fangirling right now.
I love it. He doesn't pick up on this. He thinks you're just like this really cool individual. And he's like,
Of course, as everyone should.
absolutely. He nods and he's like, all right, I really like the sound of that. Oh man, is it fun setting up romance for your character already?
Yeah, and with Legolas, so I mean, I'm happy.
It's Lego. I can't afford that trademark.
It's like,
His name is Lego, last name Lass.
yes, that's so funny.
That's his name. Don't wear it
I
out.
can't help it. He just, in my mind, he is Legolas. Like, he's actually just Legolas.
Yeah. That is visually what he looks like, but his first name is Lego, last name Lass.
Absolutely. This is my dream come true, Emma.
It's amazing. All right, so yeah, we'll say the two of you finish your meal in relative peace. The group that walked in earlier doesn't really interact with you guys. They kind of have their backs turned to you, and they're doing their own thing now that they've been put in their place.
Doing their thing being a racist.
Yeah, and I guess they support that, the losers.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, we'll say after the meal kind of finishes up, you guys stand, you pay. Actually, no, we're gonna say Lego offers to pay for your drink and meal.
Absolutely not.
No?
I'm paying for
I'm
both
gonna.
of us.
Oh, you're paying for both.
I'm a strong, independent woman.
I'm gonna make you roll for persuasion. So you are going to roll
Yeah.
20, and then because you guys are like the most charismatic bunch I've ever met, you're gonna add +4 to whatever you roll.
Okay, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Dang. Okay, yeah. So he immediately kind of reaches into his pocket to pull out these gold coins, and immediately you're like, no, that's not happening. And he kind of opens his mouth to disagree, but then you whip out your own pouch of coins and put them on the table and kind of start walking away. So he doesn't really have a choice but to follow you. And so yeah, and you guys walk out of the tavern side by side, and we'll say before you can get very far, you notice there's kind of this like group of people kind of like looking down the street, and they're kind of like all whispering to themselves, kind of like excitedly as they keep glancing down to whoever or whatever is standing down there. Do you join the fray?
Yeah, we gotta see what's up.
Yeah. So the two of you kind of make your way to where these people are looking on the street. And as you do, you notice there is this woman who looks very official. She's dressed in these dark royal blues. She's just dark skin, hair that's kind of like styled backwards. We'll say she's about 10 years older than you, or she looks 10 years older than you. And she's talking with these other people who kind of look like advisors. And we are going to make you do another check. We're going to make you do a history check. And so you're going to roll your dice and -1 from whatever you get.
13, so 12.
Okay. We'll say that when you look at her, you know she's important, and you know that she is one of like the governor people here for Paleodox. And she's not really paying attention to people who are kind of like gawking at her being, out on the town. And she walks kind of down the street, again, not really paying attention to them. And as she walks, she's walking towards you, not at you. And she kind of looks up. She offers this smile, this tired smile over to Lego, who's standing next to you. And then her eyes go to you. And for a minute, her smile kind of drops. And her face is very, like, not neutral, but, like, has a lot of emotions that kind of flicker over at once. And almost immediately, she kind of, like, remembers, oh, yeah, I'm in public. I have to, like, look a certain way. And her, like, not fake smile, but forced smile, I guess, kind of makes her way onto her face. And she nods to you and I guess keeps walking if you don't say anything.
I let her keep walking. I'm just confused. I don't know what's going on. Not me, I mean her.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, I also don't know what's going on, but
I mean, there might be chances to discover that later. Yeah, so she kind of continues walking on, this advisor to her right. And after she passes and she's firmly like out of earshot, Lego kind of turns to you and he's like, I can't believe you just got like a nod from the knowledgeable, like the original ruler, the commander of the Great War, knowledgeable. What was that, sorry?
me?
Yeah, I sound like you made a noise.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh.
Do I know who that is?
Yeah, you are aware of kind of who the knowledgeable is. Obviously, you don't know her personally, but you do know from like your history books, from stories passed down from fighters, that she was the general for the Great War. She was one of the original 6 leaders of Synchrene, and she basically made the battle plans. And depending on who you ask, she is probably one of the main reasons why the leaders were able to win against the revolters. And she was given Paleodox as her kingdom to rule after the war had ended. And so it's kind of a big deal to get her respect or even just acknowledgement, really. And so Lego, he kind of turns to you and he's like in shock and he's like, that was crazy, right? That was, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not very good at this, Emma.
Oh, it's fine. We could say, like, is she, like, nonchalant about this? Is she's just like, oh, yeah, I don't really care about this, ruler of this kingdom? Or is she kind of, like, internally fangirling? Like, what?
No, I think she's nonchalant about it.
So we'll say, Serenya kind of shrugs it off. She's like, she's just another person. And Lego, he kind of like gives this disbelieving laugh and just shakes his head and he's like, and he turns to you and he goes, "You are unlike anyone I've ever met." And he's smiling.
Now I'm internally fangirling.
Oh, yeah.
All I needed was Legolas to nod at me. I don't need that lady.
Oh, it's good. It's great. I love it. So the two of you can kind of continue your walk, and you make your way out to where like the farm fields are. And he's kind of silent as he is walking along with you. You notice every once in a while he's kind of glancing over your way. And you two decide to just like stop and sit on like this little bench and just observe the surroundings. In front of you have this wheat field, this golden grass that is growing what will hopefully be a really good feast here in a few months. The sky is this vibrant blue. It's mid-afternoon by this point. And everything would be perfect if it weren't for that like ugly black stone wall that's in your line of sight at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And so you guys kind of sit there together, and Lego kind of breaks the silence after a bit, and he goes, and he kind of stops and he kind of thinks. And he goes, "I thought the war kind of killed all chances of hope,
Oh, hey. Can we pause that here? Because apparently I'm leaving.
Oh, you're leaving? All right.
Where are we
We'll put a
going?
pause.
Let's go. Oh, okay. Okay, well, I guess I'll find out what's up with Legolas some other time.
Yeah, you guys will
This is a
continue
real
your
cliffhanger, actually.
Yeah, he's talking about hope in the war.
I know.
All
Well,
right. All right, we will continue
farewell,
this another
brother.
day.
Farewell.
Adios. And it was just me and you, Craig. I forgot how to stop you, Craig. How do I do that? No. Actually, no, I still don't know. Craig. Craig, I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening. Oh, there it is. Bye, Craig.